Womit?
Mit einer Teilzahl.
Für sicher bin ich mit einer Teilzahl, aber ich bin erst bereit, nicht wahr, ihr die Fotos zurückzugeben, wenn der abgesprochene Betrag da ist. Very interesting things. For instance, the University of Berkeley asked want to pay $5,000 to stay 2 days there. And they offered me only to sit there and to have a kind of speech with some students or more, or some professors, very undetermined. Yeah, you can only sit there and have a small speech. Fantastic. No, principally, I tried to avoid this exposition in New York. I refused it already twice in the Museum of Modern Art during the last years. Then I refused it also for the Guggenheim 3 years ago. And then here Tom Messer came, last documenter, and tried to encircle, to besiege the whole situation, and he was so strong and tried to convince me that it would be very necessary to make the show. Then I got weak for a while and said yes, okay. But it makes a lot of trouble, the show. The problem with the lenders, the problem with insurance companies, transports, the dismantling on the different places. It's terrible circus. I hate it. And everything has to do with work I have already done. Years and years, you know.
But isn't that the problem with constructing another Roman Empire?
No, it's terrible. I hate it. It's the last bigger exposition in my life. I swear it's just no longer. No, it is more and more clear that it is only an activity of the functioners here. Of Tom Messer, he has to make his plan, you know. Then we make here microscope, and then we make Picasso, then alles Beuys, we make Beuys, you know. Then he has fulfilled his plan. Another year for his profession here in the museum. That's the idea of the people, you know.
Do artists have to go on strike, boys?
Huh?
Do artists have to go on strike?
Yeah, sure, they should go on strike. That's right.
So when you build this place for the for the Free University, is it planned to have regular meetings there?
Here in the academy?
In this place here?
In Dusseldorf?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. It is established to have regular meetings, to have regular activities here, and it is an open space. Everybody can go and get information. And then it is an enterprise, a real clear enterprise, a free enterprise with possibility to advise some other enterprises. But the idea of enterprise is a new one, an anti-capitalistic one, and shows new practice in economics, you know. So we try to develop our own enterprise, and it's already on the way. We cooperate with a factory which produces cybernetic machines, yes, stuff and programs and so. And we will develop a kind of enterprise structure to show this model, how to work with money, to try an internal bank system. We try to solve the income problem and the problem of bringing together the cultural and the physical activity in the economics, so to build up a compound system between cultural enterprises and economical enterprises to integrate those principles. For instance, the people who work there, the lawyers and the sociologists, they should have an income in the Free International University. Until now, things were improvised, more or less, because everybody who works there in the Free International University lives from another income, in another profession, until now. But since 1 year we start to give people an income from the International University money. It is only possible in cooperating with enterprises. We can have a surplus on the market by selling goods. Mm-hmm. For instance, these computers, or an editor. Now we develop an own edition, a book edition, and printing office. This has to be managed also after these new economic ideas. So we try to do very concrete and real.
So how many people does that involve at the moment?
Yeah, that's one has to see it as a kind of, if you put a stone in the water, you have circles. Yes. Mm-hmm. There's an inner circle, a kernel activity group, which is relatively small. In Germany, it would be a quantity of about 250 persons who are continually working on this, either in the factory there, in the computer firm, or in the different centers of the Free International University in Kassel, and in Hanover, and in Hamburg, and in the south. And then there is another circle who is in a way supporting membership. And there's a third circle who is highly interested to work with these ideas during events, for instance, during elections. Mm-hmm. They support the idea, yes. So it is an open structure, and in the middle there is a continuously working group. But this internal structure grows from year to year, and more able people who want to do this work as full-time job needs kind of thinking on the financing of these persons, that they can do these things as full-time job and not live from another income as a teacher in a state university or so.
So in the beginning you spent a lot of your time organizing it as well as providing a lot of ideas for the basis of it.
Yeah.
And now you're moving away from the way that it's organized, or are you still spending a lot of time?
Yeah, principally I spend all my time on this work. But this work has some twiggings or some peripheries which seems to have another character, but principally it belongs to this work. For instance, for my work, I have the possibility, for instance, to make some interesting actions, where the sociologists have not this ability to make such imaginary. For instance, now I had a activity week in Vienna, so I made environment spaces, but every piece is related strongly to this. corner problem. So it is also a manifold activity, and it has not the one-sidedness of the conventional political activity. So when I founded the Organization for Direct Democracy in 1967, during my teaching time on the academy, I felt then already the necessity to enlarge this organization to a more universitarian character, being not only involved with the problems of the democracy, to have a kind of research for all power fields of society, and then started after this point of having the Organization for Direct Democracy, the idea of the Free International University already appearing more and more in the discussion, and then in 1971 I founded this Free International University as a political movement to work as a researching means for the social body, for the powers in the social body, to find an alternative for the Western private capitalistic system and the Eastern communistic state centralized state bureaucratic system. And this is now on a special point, and gets more and more clear, and more people understand. So coming back to the idea of bringing clear things to the masses, it cannot be this abstract question for me, how to change the masses. I can only care to reach as much as possible people, and that the idea spreads out, could have a possibility for spreading out. Now, and I feel coming back to the problems of the Greens, this cooperation and this model of the unity in the manifold has shown results, positive results in this direction. Nevertheless, we can constatate every day that some groupings in this compound organum are staying only there where the agricultural problems are a problem. So some groupings will not go so far to ask for a democratic bank system or to change the capitalistic system today, but because every day another situation appears, more and more people learn, and therefore this whole cooperating organum of the Greens is a permanent learning process. They learn more and more that they will not reach their ecological goals without changing the system from the roots on, from the basic problems on. So more and more people see that the condition of the capital is a reason for the illness in ecological direction and so on. So it is a learning system in a way, and by learning and making this process very patiently and every day anew, more and more people are interested to participate in this discussion. And so we can only see that the result in this election by reaching 3.5% in average for the Federal Republic of Germany is a very good result. And in some places like cities in the south we reached 14%. So I think that is a good result, showing a kind of proof for this methodology. To speak not abstract to the masses all over the world, to start on a place and showing models. And so I started with my call to everybody. I printed then last Christmas in a German newspaper. I started it with a statement that I said, if the people in West Germany or later people in Europe would start a new understanding of life, and then later came the ideas, then it would be a good example for everybody in Brazil, in Argentina, in Russia, to have the possibility to see another behavior on a special spot on the earth. Then everybody finds interest to see what the people is doing now there. And I think because there is a demand in the world, in the people, perhaps not in the systems of people who support or are living from the system, in the people exists the demand for a new thinking on life, state, education, nature, and all these things. Yeah, so that is only to give a kind of an answer for the problem, to reach the masses, you know. You can never reach the masses. You can only make another architecture somewhere in the world. If you make an interesting form, I think people will go and see, you know, will find interest. Ja, furchtbar. Ich hatte halt...
Ja, die Kontonummer, also ja, warte mal, die kann ich sehen. 360 955 9.